Hello, my name is Edmondson, working on Hold My Vote. Today I have Steve Dettelbach, who's running for Ohio Attorney General. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. So, tell me, you're running for Ohio Attorney General. Why do you want to run for the Ohio Attorney General, Steve?
Well, I've been a lawyer for 26 years. The last job I had was President Obama appointed me to be the U.S. Attorney for half the state.
Okay.
And I did that, proudly served in the Obama administration for both terms. And for me, the reason I was so proud to be part of that is because of the idea that the law is supposed to be one set of rules that applies to everybody.
Right.
That means on one hand, the law is supposed to protect every single person.
Right.
Everybody. Nobody's below the law.
Right.
And on the other hand, the law is supposed to hold everybody accountable, even if they're powerful. So nobody's above the law. But that doesn't happen on its own.
Exactly.
We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes people to actually lean in and push and fight to make that happen. Always has. You look at the history of all the great things we've accomplished in this kind of civil rights movement.
Right.
It takes people pushing. And I'm really proud that sometimes, at least, those people are lawyers.
Right.
For me, that's what being a lawyer is about, and that's why I want to be the Attorney General.
Right. So, we had Attorney DeWine, was just you replacing him, or someone's going to win. And what are some things that you see that you can do a lot better than the past administration?
So, I'm really proud of the things I did as U.S. Attorney, and those are some of the things I'd like to do as State Attorney General. For me, not only was I the U.S. Attorney for the northern half of the state, that was like my day job, right?
Is that Cleveland, like Cleveland area?
It's Cleveland, Toledo, Akron, Youngstown. It's basically, you drive up from Columbus, about 20 minutes, you stop your car, 30 minutes, and you look right, look left, everything north, 6 million people.
Right.
My other job was, I had two bosses. I had Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. Those are my two bosses. Yeah, great people, great attorneys general. They both appointed me for the whole country to head the Civil Rights Committee of all the U.S. attorneys in the country.
Wow.
And so we worked on issues ranging from the relationship between communities, including communities of color and the police departments around the country, on issues of hate crimes, on issues of human trafficking, a lot of really basic civil rights issues. And in my office in Cleveland, I established the first ever civil rights unit of any U.S. Attorney's office in the state of Ohio. I was really proud of that. We did cases ranging, and we could do that, and we can do this work more in the state of Ohio. I did work ranging from fair housing cases to working with the community and the police department to get a consent decree about the excessive use of force, to issues involving human trafficking, horrible crimes that are occurring, and hate crimes. Because guess what? People want to pretend like it's not going on anymore. I would love to say that that our phone wasn't ringing, but sadly we had a lot of hatred and a lot of people doing things. I had a church in Conneaut, Ohio, with the last African American church in Conneaut, Ohio, and somebody tried to burn it down.
Oh wow!
And we caught the person. We put him in jail. There's no other reason than just outright racism.
Right.
And I went there. I remember I went to visit the people in the church. And, great people. It was an older congregation.
Right.
So you're looking in the eyes of a woman who might be 70 or 80 years old. And how do you explain to her that after all the progress we've made, that still there are people out there who you can't protect her from, who want to burn the church down.
Right, exactly.
So those are the kinds of things I think we need to work more on together.
Right. Now right here, you're right here on Mount Vernon 20th. We look out the window, we got opioids. We have crack. We have heroin. And if you're elected Attorney General, what are some things that you can help neighborhoods like mine and neighborhoods throughout the city, throughout Ohio? These are just a few issues that we face as African Americans, not just in our neighborhoods, but throughout the whole state. So what are some things that you can do if you were elected?
Yeah, so the drug problem is an absolutely devastating problem for people in Ohio, and it has been for a long time. And one of the things we got to acknowledge is that this isn't something new because it's opioids, right? Like you said, there was a crack problem, and we are not talking about the opioid problem the same way we talked about the crack problem.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's a problem.
And that's
we need to say that out loud, right?
Yeah.
And I get that, but we need to do better.
Right.
So for me, I've been a prosecutor for 20 years and a civil rights lawyer.
Right.
There are definitely violent people, dangerous people who we need to prosecute. But there are a lot of people out there who are addicts who they don't need handcuffs, right? They need a hand.
Right. They need we need people out here. We need somebody who cares about helping them get help.
Right. And we need to know the difference, right, Al? I mean, we need to know the difference between a violent guy who's dangerous, who's shooting up a barber shop, right?
Exactly.
Like we were talking about before, and somebody who's just got a problem and they need help.
Right.
We're not very good about knowing the difference, I don't think. And so one thing we need to do is we need to work more on both prevention and treatment. It's really sad. You know how many people, 1 out of every 10 people who's addicted can get treatment?
Yes.
1 out of 10.
That's good.
No, it's not.
It could be better.
Needs to be way better. I mean, what if we had what if we said that for cancer? 1 out of every 10 cancer patients can get treatment. Or diabetes, 1 out of every 10 diabetics. We'd have a revolution. We need to do better at talking with people who are making decisions about insurance coverage. We need to do better about funding treatment so that people can actually get the help they need to get better.
Right, and I think that's very important to our community because right now we see a lot of children are being born into this situation. They're being born as heroin addicts. They're being born as crack addicts, and they've already being diagnosed because they're not getting the help that they need earlier. And then also when a big thing in our neighborhoods throughout the city is policing. How do you feel about that, and what do you think some things that as Attorney General, what can you help as far as communities like mine as far as policing?
Yeah, so let me answer both of those.
Okay.
So this morning actually I met with a woman who runs a program right here in Columbus that deals with kids who are born into addictive situations, just like you were talking about. And one of the things and by the way, they don't have enough funding for that program, but one of the things they try to work on is they help the child, and they're also working on helping the parents to get through that problem. The idea being, we need to do everything we can to make that family stay together.
Right.
Because in the long run for that child, the best outcome for that child and that family is that family stays together and we deal with the parents' issues. On the issue of policing, I have great respect for police officers. They do a really dangerous job.
Right.
The most valuable weapon that a police officer has in gaining, both his safety and doing his or her job is not anything on the belt, it's trust.
Right.
When police officers and communities trust each other and they feel like they're actually in it together instead of us and them, witnesses come forward. Police officers better have better relationships. They actually know the community. These are the kinds of things, and these are hard things to make happen.
Right. Especially overnight.
Right, especially overnight. So one of the things that we need to work on is, in managing a police department, police officers, they generally, if you tell them this is the way you advance, they'll do it. So if you tell a police officer that the best way to advance his career or her career is just get the most arrests you can, guess what they're going to do? They're just going to try to rack up arrests. If we tell them that there's other things that can lead to them doing better, their relationship with the community, their ability to understand the people in the neighborhoods that they're policing in, they're going to do that too. But we have to put our money where our mouth is.
Right.
We have to give them the training and the equipment and the support that they need. We can't just tell them to do it in their spare time. We have to make that part of the core job duties. And these are things that I have found, by the way, when communities do these things, the police love it and the community likes it.
Right.
But when we get into one of these us versus them thing, we just have to all stop and say there is no us and them. There's just us. Right. This is the United States of America. We're all in this together. This is our city, our community. So for me, that's been something I've worked on for a long time, and I'm really passionate about trying to find solutions and bring people together on this, because it can get tense. You know that.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, we see it every day in our community. So last but not least, I always just like to ask is, what are you going to do if you're elected State of Ohio Attorney General to earn our vote in our communities?
Yeah, so look, I've spent my life, 26 years, 27 years as a lawyer, being a prosecutor and a civil rights attorney. Those are the two things I did. Now, first of all, some people tell you those two things don't go together.
Right.
But they do if you're doing them right. It's about that idea of the rule of law, that nobody's below the law and nobody's above the law. What I'm going to do as the Attorney General is bring that back to the state of Ohio. Bring back an idea where where just because you give money to somebody, you can't run a scam charter school and take millions of dollars away from our kids in urban communities. Bring back the idea that the police and citizens can work together to have a better community, and bring back the idea that in tackling hard problems like the heroin and opioid crisis, that it's not going to be about headlines. It's going to be about doing the hard work we need to help people and make progress. I have a track record doing that. A track record, and that's what we owe the people of the state of Ohio.
Great, great. I have.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
One more thing is voting. Yeah. So a lot of people. I was really privileged when I was U.S. Attorney. I went to Selma. I led a group of people to see President Obama, my boss, speak from the foot of the Edmond Bridge on the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday.
Right.
And when you're there and you see him and you see John Lewis, so many people fought and died and sacrificed and bled for our right to vote.
True.
Now it's on all of us, everybody, to use that right. It's so easy to get discouraged.
Right.
I get it. But we live in a place where if we stand up for ourselves and vote, we can actually take it back. So many people in the world don't even have that.
Right.
We do. So I just want to encourage everybody, no matter how you vote, and I hope you vote for me, but no matter how you vote, get out and vote. Get everybody you know to vote. It's a really precious right. And remember, Steve Dettelbach has got your back.
All right, there you had heard it from Attorney Steve Dettelbach, who's running for state auditor.
Attorney General.
Attorney General. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just had two different ones. So Attorney General, and we're looking forward to hearing back from you and seeing how everything is going. And don't forget, you can early vote October the 10th. Don't forget, October the 10th. We are also looking for volunteers to do phone banking and helping people get out the vote. You can contact me at aledmondson@gmail.com or call 614-253-1880 if you want to get involved. When we vote, we win. Peace.
Thanks.
All right.